Hello, everyone. Welcome to 12 Days of Crafty Christmas, day 5. We are just plugging through all these days quite quickly, it seems. At least that's how it feels to me. It might not feel that way to you. But we are back again for day 5 of 12 Days of Crafty Christmas. I'll just get you up here so we can chitty chat as we go. If anybody's out there and watching, say hello. I don't see any eyeballs yet, so I didn't turn on my other light on the other side here, so hopefully it's not too dark in here. I did a little Christmas decorating in this cubby, you'll notice. A little bit of a different scene going on there. Had to put the Halloween house away. So, all right, let's just give me 2 seconds here. It's just about live. I got a little bit of a slow internet or something going on here. The weather is changing quite rapidly by the hour here, so we are to have a bit of snowy rain mix or something. So we will see what that transpires into. Let me just have my iPad here in case one of my friends there is having some troubles. Hi, Lena. How are you? All right. So we're back here again, like I said, for 12 Days of Crafty Christmas, day 5. This is a series I started last year. I usually do it in December, but everybody, by popular request, wanted it early so that you can recreate these projects, is why I'm thinking that you asked me to do it earlier. So it's a good thing I was prepared. So we're working our way through those 12 days, and every night during the week, I go live at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. On the weekends, I will be in my regular time slot of 10 a.m. Mountain Time, okay? I pre-scheduled out the events until Sunday, so that you can say that you're going to the event in the Facebook events page on Carrot Tops Creative Co. And it should remind you, who knows, it's Facebook world, right, guys? So it should remind you that I'm going live, and it should actually send you a notification if you say that you're going, that I am live, so that you can pop right into the event, and it shows up normally in your notifications. So, but that could have changed. It changes daily in the Facebook world, so we just kind of roll with it. All right. But if you happen to miss me, the replays will be there for 30 days in my feed, and then I am uploading every couple days because it's easier to do a couple videos at once than just one at a time. Will be uploaded onto my YouTube channel, so if you haven't subscribed over there, go on and hop over there, and you will also be sent a notification for when I post a new video. They will be under the playlist for 12 Days of Crafty Christmas 2025. You'll see in the playlist as well that 2024 is there as well. So I've had a few new subscribers, so thank you guys. Welcome, welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the series. What we're going to do is we're going to flip around, and we're going to do a quick little recap of what we have done over the last 4 days. And then we're going to jump into tonight's project with this, which is super cute, I think. Hi, Glenda. All right, so let's get you forward and flipped. Oh gosh, hopefully I did that quickly because there is a mess happening on the other side and pretty much every single corner of this room. I'll find out in a second as it catches up. Oh, you might have seen a little bit of it. Oh yeah, it's a disaster. Okay, let's kind of slide you up here. Let's get you in a good position. So as I said, 12 Days of Crafty Christmas, day 5 is what we're on. And let's do a quick little recap. I put these on a tray so it's easier to just slide it in and show you what we've done. So day 1, we did a little flip flap album. Day 2, we did a little gift card and treat holder. Day 3, we did some biscotti holders, one open, one closed, which can be a box for pretty much anything and everything. And then yesterday, we did these triple pocket envelopes, I guess you'd call them. And then we did a little diaper fold as well to bring this one back to the forefront and remind you about this one, and to use up some 6x6 designer series paper if you have it, because we're getting new paper soon and you're going to want it all, and you might as well use up what you got. So and then I use this instead of using it as like a little treat holder, which you can. We made a little ornament last night for New Year's that you can gift sort of after the Christmas season, maybe. It can still be. Or you can have a little basket by your door, and as people visit and you're like, oh, shoot, I don't have anything for you, you can just grab one of these and give them a little New Year's ornament to hang on their tree before they take it down in the new year. All right, so that's what we've done so far. Let me find somewhere to put this. Let's just switch around. There we go. So tonight we are, I don't know, what did I call this thing? I think I just called it a treat box. I don't have it written down anywhere here. So it's just a little treat box. Doesn't look like a whole lot of much on the outside, which is kind of how I designed it. But it's using that traditional Traditions of Christmas paper. If you were lucky enough to get it, this will die cut out of the designer series paper. And then this is with the label set that goes with it. I don't know if you can see that. I've embossed it in gold just for you, and then just used a little bit of mesh ribbon that I had lying around. Now this is a little belly band, so what this does is it slides off, and I have mine a little bit tight, so we'll rectify that tonight. So plain old box, nothing too crazy going on here. Look, you open it up and you see designer series paper and your little Ferrero Rocher chocolates. I didn't test it to see if they probably do though, because they're like little balls. Well, if you cut your little holes smaller, your lint balls will sit in there and hold. But this circle actually cuts out and holds that Ferrero Rocher in right nice and quick. So the reason for this project is you can buy these little 3-packs of the Ferrero Rocher at your local little Dollarama or dollar store or whatever. And why wouldn't you want to fancy up the package, make it a little bit prettier, right? To gift to somebody. So, and then it kind of has like a little accordion sort of fold. So it folds out a little bit so you can see a little bit of both sides of the paper. So when you're picking, you kind of want to pick something that looks good on both sides if you can. A little bit of non-directional, I would say, if you could, because it might look a little weird upside down. So just keep that in mind when you're picking your papers. This one was kind of nice because it's just like a flowery print all over, so it didn't really matter what direction it went in. So isn't that pretty? Hi, Rhonda, you found me. Perfect. I was just going to look at my messages really quick and see if you figured it out. So what we're going to use tonight is a retired paper, actually. It's the Seasons of Green and Gold specialty. You may or may not have it. I think, was it last year or the year before? I can't even remember now. Is when it came out. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with a piece. So this is like the real red on mine. I'm doing Mossy Meadow to match my paper. And the one I picked to use is this beautiful sort of non-directional pattern. It kind of can go in either way, and then it's just a polka dot on the other side, so it's nothing fancy. But it's still going to be gorgeous on the inside. I always have such amazing 3D. It takes a lot of R&D, I tell you, to find and be inspired by all these little projects. So what you're going to need for the outside of your box is a piece of cardstock that is 8 3/4 by 6. Okay. Let me just scroll down here so that I can see comments. There we go. Okay. And then you are going to need, sorry, I just made the dog bark. You are also going to need, now I've already pre-cut some pieces. Let me just go like this. You're going to need, I've already cut out the circle. So just imagine that this is a whole piece, okay? You're going to need, for your insert, a piece that is 6 3/4 by 2 7/8. Okay? I'll just lie that there. And then we're going to need just a tag of some sort. So I've just grabbed an old olive one that I already cut out. And I've already just embossed it with the Just For You. So this can kind of be generic and for whoever, right? It doesn't have to be for one certain person. And then you're going to need another piece. Now you could mix up the colors of this if you wanted. You wanted to do a red and green or something like that. It's totally your decision. Based on your paper, you can kind of make that call. Mine's sort of all green, so I kind of just stuck with all one color. But as you can see, once this is slid on again, it could be in multi colors. This one is really tight, so we're going to rectify that when we do this next one. But you can make it look different. And for the belly band, you're going to need a piece that is 8 1/2 by 4. Okay. So then we need, we're just going to slide that aside. Then for our designer series paper, we need a piece that is 9 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay. And then I'm just reading my instructions here to the side. Okay, nope, that's it. All right, so let's backtrack to our piece that we started with. This one here, our 6 by 8 3/4. We're going to bring in our trimmer, and I'm just going to slide that over there for now so that we can bring this in. We do need to flip out the arm. I need to tape this down. It's getting some workout. And we are going to put our 8 3/4 side at the top of our trimmer, okay? And we're going to score this at 2, 4, what do you think's next? 6, and 8. So 2, 4, 6, and 8 is where you want to score that, okay? Then we're going to do our bone folder, which, oh, I didn't turn my thing around again. I'm just going to kind of fold it with my fingers for now, okay? And that is all we need to make the outside of our box. So basically this is going to fold up and create just the base sort of wrap for our box, okay? So we're just going to set that right there. Then we are going to bring in our designer series paper. And we are going to put, which is, I'll go over the measurement again, which is 9 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay. And then we are going to score it. So we're going to put our 9 7/8 measurement at the top. Is that the right? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Thought maybe I cut it wrong. And we are going to score it at 2 and 7 7/8. Okay. Then we are going to turn it so that our 5 7/8 measurement is at the top. And we are going to score it at 2 again. So not hard measurements and score lines to remember, right? And 3 7/8. No, that doesn't sound, yeah, that is right, sorry. And then we'll just kind of give it a fold. Now this may be hard to see on camera, but kind of fold them in just so you can kind of see what you're doing when we do our next little step here. So what it wants us to do is we want to score our designer series paper. Now I made a little template here so that it made sense. We want to score these corners. So we've just created these score lines. I did them in pencil so they were easier to see. And we want to just score from corner to this little score intersection, okay, on all 4 corners. So what you're going to do is I just line it up in the track and I kind of visualize where that corner is. If you have to, like, because it's on the inside, if you have to put a little dot or something there so you can see it, that's okay, go ahead. And then you're just going to go around and score all those little corners. Makes sense? And that's going to create that little fold in part that we had when we opened it up. That little fan-like thing almost. Oops, stop moving it around, Shanna. There we go. Like sliding it around in the track. It's not going to make a straight line if I do that, will it? Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we've got basically these little corners all done now. So that's our little template. Okay, and then what we want to do is we'll just fold those so that you can kind of see what we made here. Okay. So it's almost like if you do sewing and quilting and stuff like that, you've seen these little like bags that kind of go like that, or those little things that go around your bowl to keep it from like burning your hand if you're holding it. Kind of looks like that, right? So that's what we've created. But your no, I want it to go this way. Your fold, whichever way you want to actually see on the inside with your chocolates and everything put in, this is going to be your top side. So I want the design obviously to be my top side. So I'm going to fold these in the other way, I do believe. Let me open this and see. I've only made this sample box, so it's still kind of new to me as well, too. Yes. No. Nope, you're going to fold them in. Sorry, guys. So you just may have to manhandle it a little bit. I can't see the lines. You certainly can't see them on camera. Because I folded it all the wrong way, now it's going to be difficult. Okay, we'll figure that out in a second. We'll move on, okay? We'll figure it out as we put it together to make that. And then we want to attach it to the designer paper to this. So we actually do have to deal with this right now. Okay, so let's go like this. Okay. Now we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. So we're just creating like a little fold there, and it's going to fold in on itself. And when you're scoring those little diagonals and when you're scoring these in the corner, if you don't get all the way into that corner because you can't really see it on your trimmer, it's okay, because you can kind of, once you fold sort of half of it, it will naturally just fold itself. And when you use your bone folder on it, it will just crease itself naturally. So this is what we have, okay? Makes sense? Cool, right? So what we want to do is, I'm just going to grab some tear and tape from in front of me and probably my liquid glue just in case. And for sake of not making a gigantic mess with my tear and tape, I'm just going to put some tear and tape on the corner there. So what we want to do is we want to seal this side down to here so that when it opens up, this is actually sealed down to the back side. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let me just do it and then I'll show you again and it should make sense. So that's the only place that you want your glue. So when we open it up like that, it's going to be sealed down. This is still free to move around however it needs to. Okay, so then on this corner here, we're going to put a little bit. Okay, same thing, seal it to the back. So this is what you're left with. You're kind of making like a little mouth, almost, right? I'm just going to flip this around and we're going to do the same thing on this side here. If you use the liquid glue, you may want to have some like little clothes pegs or something close by so that you can kind of just pinch it together and let it set for a few minutes. I found that the tear and tape or your seal works pretty good to do this. Okay, let me get that off. Last one. So there, we've created like a little mouth. Hopefully that made sense and how you sealed those down, and those are the only ones that you want to seal down. Now what we want to do is we want to attach this to the bottom of our cover. Now this cover has a little flap here, and if you want to use your corner rounder, if you still have one, oops, open it up because it doesn't work if you don't. You can corner round this little flap, which acts as the natural, here I'll bring this one in, acts as the natural sort of box closer per se. So you just want to envision, close it up, you'll see that little edge. You know that this part right here is where you need to attach your designer series paper. Okay, so just take some tear and tape, some seal, some Tombow glue, whichever is your adhesive of choice. I like to always use tear and tape when I'm doing sort of 3D things because it does hold, or seems to hold anyways, a little bit better than most things. I probably went overkill with 3 pieces, but, and then you're just going to bring, I'm just going to fold it up naturally, and I'm just going to come in. There is a score line there that you can see, so that helps you line it up. Okay, and then we've created our little box. Is that not cool? we do have to seal down the sides here too. So all you need to do is probably one will be sufficient. The bottom, obviously, because it's going to hold your chocolates, you want it to be a little more secure than the side parts. Oops, I tore my tape off in the middle here. There we go. Okay, so we'll just kind of naturally fold it on itself. So then it will close, or will, yeah, it'll close up like that. Okay, we're going to do the same on this front side here. Making sense so far? You're intrigued on how it all comes together? Pretty quick once you get to this stage. And then I'm just going to kind of finger score down the side here because I actually didn't use my bone folder. Use your bone folder when you're doing 3D stuff. Just helps make those lines a little bit crisper, and then you don't have to do what I'm doing. All right. And I kind of bent this out of whack here. There we go. Okay. By stuffing my big hand inside of it. There we go. So we've created the inside of our little box. Is that not cool? And then when you close the lid, it just kind of looks like this on both sides. And then when you open it up, it's got all your beautiful paper in there. Oh, I've really bent it. There we go. Okay, so now we'll just set that there. We're going to build our inside. So we had our piece. Let me just go back and see what the measurement was here. This piece is 6 3/4 by 2 7/8. And what you want to do is we're going to bring back in our trimmer again. Now I've already scored this, but we're going to go through it together so that you know what to do. Okay, you're going to put this on your trimmer and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Oops. Don't move it as you shut the lid. Okay, so 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Oh, Glenda loves it so much, she says. It's a great way to use up some paper. So obviously tonight I brought out some retired paper that I have. I wouldn't do these for like a craft fair or anything like that. That's way too involved for that. So, but definitely for just like a special gift for just to hand over to the neighbor or something like that. Where are my scissors? I don't know where my snips are, you guys. I'm gonna have to use these ones. I apologize. I don't know where they are. I have another pair on the other side, but I'm not going to get them. So what we want to do, obviously, is because we're going to make this sort of like an insert, we do want to take those little corners up just a little bit. So you're just going up to the score line there, snip a little out of the corner. Okay, helps it just make the little corners tight for us. Does anybody have any of these scissors? I think they're from my sewing kit. They're good for like snipping thread and stuff like that. But they get nice and tight. They're nice and really tight on the ends, so they get nice and tight into the corners. Okay, so we've built this little fun insert. Now, I used, because this circle was a bit small on the stitch circle, I think they're called stitch circles. It was a little bit small using the second one to the last one. It was a little bit small for this little chocolate. So all I did was I took my little chocolate and I just went circle by circle until I found something that my little chocolate actually fit in. So this one kind of goes halfway into this circle. So these are our retired ones. They're the layering circles. So that second one in from the last one is the one that I used if you're going to use Ferrero Rocher chocolates. If you're going to use the Lindt balls, probably let's test it actually before I just say, oh, try this. Let's test it, because the dies that I'm talking about are right here. You could use those layering circles too, but if you wanted to have sort of a little bit of a design around the outside, yes. So on the current dies, if you have, oh, they're called stylish shapes. Stylish shape dies, The second one from the middle, or almost the very last one, the little teeny tiny one. The second one up will hold that lint ball nice and tight. Okay, so depending on what chocolate you go and buy, because you can get these in a 3-pack too at that lovely little green and white store, if you know what I'm talking about. So we're using the Ferrero Rochers here, because, I'm trying to mix it up. Okay, so let's fold these in. Let's grab our bone folder and do this correctly, because we do want this one to be fairly tight. And sturdy to hold our chocolates up a little bit, because it does sit up just a little smidge off of the bottom of the box. Okay. And then you can use tear and tape, you can use your liquid glue, whatever you choose. Oh, my dogs are just being stupid. And then you're just going to make a tight corner. Now, as I always say, hold it, keep it down flat on your desk or wherever you're working, because that helps it sort of keep a nice tight corner. Keeps it flat against the desk and keeps that tight. I forgot to mention, here I jumped ahead. Obviously, with the circles, I did my first one in the middle, and then I went side to side. 1-inch punch is kind of small, but let's just see here, Rhonda. I've got some. I'll try the circle. 1 3/4 inch, maybe. I should measure what that's a 1-inch circle, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of tiny. You want at least, let's see how big this circle is. Yeah, you want at least 1 3/8. If you have a 1 3/8 old circle punch, you should be able to get it into this piece once it's cut and do it. I don't have a spare piece sitting around to give it a try. I just used my die because it was easier. I could see. I just laid this out flat, put my little circle in the middle, and then I moved it side to side. So that's kind of what I did. So we've created this little kind of holder, little bed for our chocolates to sit in. And it literally just fits right inside here. You just slide it down. You don't need to glue it in or anything like that. It just slides right into the box. And then you just take your little chocolates, make sure the label's facing all the same way, if you care about that sort of thing. And then you just put them on in there. There they are, nestled in their little bed. And then you can close up the box. We'll put the belly around it in just a second, but that's going to be your little box finished. Is that not the cutest? So then we'll bring our belly band back in here. Let me just look at the measurements again. Your belly band is 4 by 8.5. Okay. And then we want to, on the 8.5 side, at the top there, you want to score it at 2 inches. Now, I can't remember if I did this step when I did the other one. We'll just finger score all the rest of them. I don't remember if I did that part when I did the first one. So let's just bring it in here. What did I do here? You want, oh, there's my edge. No, I definitely didn't. I must have done something else there when I did that one. So I would put this on the bottom. Make sure it's tight. And then I would just wrap around here. And just finger score the rest of it. And then it should meet up on the bottom. So what you're going to get is sort of this little square to wrap around. Okay. That wasn't very even, but that's finger scoring. That's what it gave me. So this is what we'll work with, right? Just make sure that when you do your final seal, that it's not super tight, because you want whoever you give it to, everyone's saying it's a great hostess gift. You want your hostess to be able to slide it off and get to the chocolate. So just kind of do a little practice run here as we do it. My chocolates are going to fall out of their thing as I flip it upside down. Obviously, you do that at the end. Put your chocolates in before you sealed it up. But, you know, we like to live on the wild side around here. So there we go. Okay. So it should just slide off as long as you don't have any glue or anything like that. Now you could, if you wanted to like decorate the outside, maybe stamp it or something like that. I mean, you don't have to. It looks beautiful once it's all decorated and finished, just as a little green box. So your decision. So all I've done is I've just kind of done exactly what I've done on the original one. I've just die cut out of gold one of the labels from the, I think they're called traditional labels. I should know. I did a whole suite on that suite alone, or a whole display on that suite alone, but you know, things go in and out of my brain. So we're just going to secure that down. I don't have any dimensionals in front of me, but I would put this down flat anyways, just in the middle. Now I'll grab dimensionals. And so I've just taken one of the other, there's in that suite, in the designer series paper, there is a red poinsettia and then there's a pink poinsettia. I thought the pink might look nice with the green, which it does, right? The pink and the blue. And then I've just actually cut out on this pink one, there's actually red flowers under here. I've just fussy cut out half of them. Here, you might be able to see. There's one of the little petals that I left. I just took some out of some scrap from a corner piece or something like that on the designer series paper, and I cut out the flowers, and then I just paper pieced them into that little hole so that I had those kind of flowers being a little bit 3D. I don't know if you, oh, there you go. I was gonna say, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I've just kind of layered it on. So I didn't cut out the whole flower. There's the red one underneath there too. I left myself a little bit of room to attach that flower down. But you can kind of mess around and use up different pieces and sort of customize it. I didn't want the red in it, so that's why I cut those out. You can do whatever you like though. If you just want to use up the paper as is, it's absolutely gorgeous paper, so use it as is if you like. But you can make that decision. You can also, I don't have the paper, oh, I do have the paper handy. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. You could also turn the box this way and use, let me just find one. You could use one of these little bouquets out of the designer series paper as well. It's okay. Like they don't know what way it's supposed to. Once they take this off, the box kind of becomes its own self, and then they're opening that up as sort of like a second gift. So you could have this going that way as well, if you like. Up to you. I'll show you that piece if I still have some that has the full. I'm almost out of this paper too, so here it is. So you'll see there's the red poinsettia, and then there is the pink one. So it had the little red flowers. So I just cut something off the end, or I had some little bits. There's one right here. I just cut those off, and then that's what I used to make what I did here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm blibber blabbering, aren't I? Okay, and then you can decide what you want to do. If you've got some sort of mesh ribbon that you want to use up, I do have, what do I got over here? I do have a bit of more gold, and I do have some silver. Let's just use up this little piece that I have lying around. So basically, I just put a little bit of seal on the back, same as I would with my twine, so that it has something to stick to when I just kind of, I call it 8 loop, because you're making like a little figure 8 behind to make your loops. Make a little figure 8, and then it all sticks down. So that's the reason why the glue's on the back. And then you want to make sure that you don't attach it to the box, because that's going to slide on and off, right? You want to make sure that you either attach it to the side. I think I actually, so that it didn't, yes I did. So it didn't stick because I have that glue on the back. I just grabbed another one. I don't know if I have another one of that cut though. No, I don't. I have a little bowl full of all kinds of stuff. So if to cover up your ribbon and that glue and stuff so that it doesn't stick to the main box, I just put another one of those labels on the back to cover that up, which I'll do after because I don't have one handy. And then I just stuck it under, and I kind of just lined up my greenery sort of in between the letters. Sort of, kind of. You know what I'm trying to do, right? Just on the corner there. And then I just grabbed a little tiny dimensional, put it on the corner there, and that's what I stuck this to. You could use something that's a little bit smaller than I did, so that, now I gotta get it in the right spot. Not close enough. Okay, so then we've got that. Pretty, right? Lena loves it too. I don't know why those have a QR code on the bottom. Probably to direct you to the Ferrero Rocher website. Okay, we fixed those. Obviously, you want to make sure that they're all facing the right direction. And then it just slides in just like that. Pretty, right? And you could put bling on it if you wanted to. You could do whatever you like to embellish it and use up what you've bought for the season and need to use up, or something from the past that you want to get rid of. All right, so that's today's little project, a little treat box that can hold either the Ferrero Rocher or the lint balls, as long as you use the other size of the circle. Okay, so you have to use a littler circle for the lint balls. Okay, any questions, you guys? That all makes sense, I hope. I hope. I did answer that about the 1-inch punch for you, Rhonda. So yeah, I think I got all your questions. Made sense? Perfect. I'm glad I was able to make it a second time because, like I say, this was my first. This was my second. They kind of look the same, so that's perfect. Tomorrow, we're going to be back at 6 o'clock again, Mountain Time, to make some cute little gift card holders. They are absolutely adorable. They could be used pretty much for anything, really. They're just so cute. I loved it. I had so much fun making them last night when I was working ahead. So, yeah, it's going to be super cute. And so I hope to see you back here for what are we on? Day 6. Day 6 tomorrow for a little gift card holder. You're inspired. You're inspired, are you, Lena? Perfect. I love it. That's what I'm here to do. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for dropping in tonight and visiting and chatting and being inspired by the project. I hope that you will make one. And if you do, I want to see it. And I hope to see you here tomorrow night. Okay, take care. Good night. Paper hugs.